So even though it's not very flashy and it's something that people absolutely hate to do, myself included, you need to know how to write, put together good security reports. And, the reporting part of the process is essential for any security professional. You're going to have to relay this information to people that a lot of times are not very technical, are not very security minded. If they are technical, maybe they're a developer. Most of the time, developers really struggle when it comes to understanding the issues, right? And understanding why their code is insecure, why this configuration or that configuration is insecure. And, if you don't learn how to report properly, then you're going to really have a hard time in this industry. And if you want to work in this industry, this is something that you're going to constantly be faced with. You're going to be constantly interacting with people that are not, on that same level, security-wise, technically, speaking. So, hey guys, this is Ryan from Elevate Security. In this video, I wanted to talk about, the reporting side. It doesn't get a lot of talk, and especially even, this will be able to, translate over to OSCP as well, because if you're going for that certification, you will be reporting your findings, right? If you want to get the extra credit, certainly you need to do the report on, on the labs, and that is like, unless they change anything, before it was 5 boxes from the lab. Any 5 you pick them, 5 that you exploited, you got to do a write-up on the vulnerabilities and stuff like that, and then I believe you report as well on for the extra credit, they have like a bunch of lab stuff that you can either go through, and you have to submit a report on that if you want the extra credit. I don't think you need to report on, actually, yeah, you do need to report on the boxes that you exploit on the exam as well, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, this is an essential skill for that certification, but also, the reason they make it that way is it's an essential thing that you're going to be doing on your day-to-day job as an offensive security guy, as a pen tester, red teamer, whatever the case may be. Now, the nice thing about reporting in most companies when you're doing it, a lot of times they'll have like templates. Pretty much always they'll have templates, certain common ways they report, common vulnerabilities, right? So there's a lot that you can sort of copy paste over normally in terms of the recommendation and a bit of the impact as well. Now, what am I talking about here, I guess, right? A lot of times when you have these reports, you break them down into like, what is the impact? Because you need to explain to a non-security person. You always think of the lens of how can I explain this to a non-security person, at least at the top, right? And then detailing in the technicals when you're talking about how you reproduced it. So, most, sort of what I would say the most simplistic version of how you exploited it should go at the beginning, and then they can read down below for more fine details. The technical people can really dig into the details section, right? So you want to relay the impact. What is the impact if an attacker successfully exploits this vulnerability? What can they do? Now, this is where you have to really take into account what is the application, like how critical is the application, like their functionality. If an attacker is able to exploit, this service, what else might that potentially lead to? And that way you can sort of gauge how critical this is. What is the impact, right? So that's one section. What is the impact, The other one is definitely like, your reproduction steps, basically stepping through A to Z, how you were able to exploit it, maybe with screenshots, and then, just your steps sort of written down how you did it. That's pretty straightforward normally. That's a section that you need to include in your report for the technical guys that are on the remediation side, so they can, when they go to remediate it, they can retest it themselves if possible, right? Or at least understand the issue a little bit better of how this was exploited. And then the third section, of course, is your recommendation section, where you basically recommend, or a remediation section, depending on what your company likes to call it. This is the section where you detail what mitigation needs to happen in order to patch up this vulnerability, right? So here's where you can link them articles to OWASP or whatever the case may be that might be of help to them when it comes to remediation. Remediation just meaning fixing the vulnerability so it's no longer present. So these are the essential things you're going to need to do on OSCP for the reporting, but also on your day-to-day job. And the nice thing about this is a lot of times these vulnerabilities have been found many times before by your company, so you'll be able to reference other reports and stuff. You're just going to need to tailor your actual report to that specific issue a little bit. Some things will have to be changed to account for the uniqueness of the situation, because security does not happen in a vacuum. Exploiting one thing is not necessarily equal to exploiting another thing that's the same service, because of how critical is the application, how exploitable is it, how many people have access to this, things like that, right? So there's a lot of factors to consider, but really what you need to know for OSCP on that side, not too much really, just be able to explain the impact, be able to explain the reproduction, how you exploited it, and the remediation. I believe OSCP, the site, details what they're looking for in their reports. I'm just sort of speaking how I do it on the job. I would have to honestly brush up with the instructions for their reporting if they gave detailed instructions. I think they did. It's been a while since I took it, but in the real world, this is the kind of structure you normally have in your pen test reports. So I hope this video was of help to you guys, talking about a topic that not many people really talk about on the internet that I've seen, because it's not very flashy, it's not very fun. In fact, I really don't like reporting, but I got to know how to do it, right? So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this content, definitely subscribe for more videos and hit the like button, and I will see you guys in the next video.